Let's dig deep.
Working in a coal mine, going down, down, down. Working in a coal mine, about to step down.
Well, Gallop put out its annual trust survey. By the way, do you trust Gallop?
Not exactly.
They were off by more than 7 points.
Who trusts anyone?
Okay, I trust you.
Seriously.
I trust you.
Oh, of course,
All right,
of
okay.
course.
All right, they asked Americans about a variety of institutions, saying, do you trust these groups? Let's start with the good news, all right? Here's the good news. The institution that has the highest level of trust in America is small business. 70% of Americans say they have trust in small businesses. I think that's pretty amazing.
Because
you get majorities of blacks, whites, and Hispanics all trusting small business.
Because small businesses and the employees that make up those small businesses,
Right.
those are some of the toughest,
Right.
the grittiest.
Well, and they're your neighbors.
They get up early,
Right.
they go to bed late. I mean, they're the ones that care.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that make life worth living in this country.
And it's the second year in a row when small businesses took the top spot. Second place was the U.S. military. 69% say they have trust in the U.S. military.
Well, yeah, these are folks that are committed to the idea that we are all created equal because they're willing to give their own life to die for folks they don't even know.
Right. And again, a majority support from all three racial backgrounds. Now, here's the problem, though. Trust in the military is declining. As the U.S. military becomes more woke, it is becoming less trusted. Just 4 years ago, the military had a 74% trust rating. So that's been a steady 5% drop over the past 4 years.
Okay.
Go back to 2019. 2009, back in 2009. Trust in the military topped off at 82%. So we've had a 13% drop in 12 years of trust in the military. This year's ratings tie the lowest level of trust Americans have had in our military in the post-9/11 era. Our nation's military leaders need to understand what's going on and why this is happening. They need to understand that when you get woke, you go broke. And when the military loses the trust of the American people, it loses its legitimacy,
You know what? I'm going to go a completely different direction. I don't think that the American people have lost trust in the American military. I think what you have is a generation of Americans that don't love this country and can't possibly understand why someone would be willing to give their life to protect an idea that we are all created equal. That's what I think is going on. That's why people don't trust or don't have trust in the military, is because they don't understand how someone would be willing to the numbers, die for their country.
The numbers don't buy that out because conservatives are losing trust in the military, and conservatives understand sacrifice for the country. If it was just the liberals who were losing trust in the military, I'd say okay, but that's not what the numbers really bear
Well, maybe
out.
it's a multifactorial issue here. Then.
But you can't go woke and still be the military of the United States. You just can't do that. There's only one other institution that people say they trust, or the majority of people say they trust: the police. 51% of Americans say they trust the police. Now, there's certainly a racial breakdown here. 56% of whites trust the police, but only 27% of blacks. 49% of Hispanics trust it, but that does make the police the fourth most trusted institution for Hispanics behind the military, small businesses, and public schools.
But see, I think we were talking about the vaccine earlier, and I don't want to get off on the vaccine again, but the fact that so many Americans have not gotten the vaccine when they have full access to it is because they don't trust those that continually urge them to get the vaccine.
Right. Notice the government hasn't shown up in these first couple, right?
I don't expect it to.
Let me keep going down the list. The medical system does show up number 4 on the list, 44%. So that's not a majority of Americans trusting the medical system, and they're number 4 on the list. 5, the presidency at 38%. 6, the church or organized religion at 37%.
Wait, the church is below the White House?
Yeah, mostly because actually, this was interesting, but African Americans have more trust in the presidency than African Americans have trust in their own churches. That's what, according to this poll.
That's very depressing.
The Supreme Court, number 7 on the list at 36%. Banks, 33%. Public schools at 32%. Number 10, big tech, 29%. Number 11, big labor, 28%. Number 12, newspapers at 21%. Number 13, the criminal justice system at 20%. Number 14, big business, 18%. It's interesting. Small business is the most trusted, big businesses in the bottom 3. Second to last, number 15, TV news, 16%. Only 16% of Americans trust TV news. Dead last, Congress. Only 12% of Americans trust Congress. A couple things I noticed on this list. The more leftist an institution is, the less trusted it is. The more conservative an institution is, the more trusted it is. Congress is dominated by the left, right? Well, even many Republicans who get into Congress shift left once they get there. We see that happen over and over.
Sure.
They are the least trusted institution in America. Big media is now simply the public relations branch of the Democrat Party. It's just a notch above Congress. Back in 1983, big media's trust rating was 46%. That was when George Stephanopoulos was still the spokesman for Bill Clinton and not a TV news anchor. That's when the media was still reporting on global warming as an actual debate and not a given fact. But everything the media has been doing for the past 30 years has simply destroyed their credibility because they've become too left.
But you mentioned the criminal justice system, that folks don't have trust in it. I think there's a racial factor there as well.
Yes, but also remember, George Soros has been buying up DAs across the country.
That's what I was going to say, exactly.
And now we don't trust the criminal justice system.
To prosecute the criminals that the police pick up and take off the streets.
Plus, the Justice Department is obviously biased towards Democrats. Just ask Hillary and Hunter. The more left you go, the less trusted you'll be.